Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of With a Side of Hustle. As you know, chance for me to sit down with some friends, some colleagues, talk about small businesses, small projects, expand their network, and expand their community. Now, in case you haven't noticed, the link through all of these videos is somehow there is a Disney connection. Whether I work with them or we met there or just the loving of Disney, and this episode is no different. I'm so excited to be joined by my very good friend, Maria from Lake Buena Visitors. Maria, how are you?
I'm great. Can you tell I'm excited? I just flew in from Mandalore.
I was going to say, Mandalorian Maria here on the show. We met very briefly at Disney. Well, we met through social media. Not even sure how that happened, to be very honest. But we had a chance to hang out at some time Magic Kingdom a while back. You have an incredible background. You've done a lot of things that we're going to get into in just a second. But first and foremost, the question out of the gate, number one, is how is everything going here in this quarantined, isolation, unprecedented time?
I'm probably the only person on earth to say this, but it has been the most busiest time. I don't think I've slept since March because of Lake Buena Visitors, our company, and all of the new things we've added during that time, and a lot of initiatives. From a charity shirt and more. So it's been, my husband says he's actually really excited for after quarantine, so maybe we can sleep.
Well, that's good. Good. I've said a couple of times, all we've had is time in this particular time frame. So it's nice to hear that some people are thriving and doing amazing things in this time frame. So we're going to get into Lake Buena Visitors. It is your Disney apparel shop.
Of everything. As you can see, we do posters, Disney home, Disney shirts, Disney dresses, other fandoms soon as well in the Harry Potter universe are coming. Okay. So yeah, we have a little bit of everything.
Very, very cool. So I want to get into the creation of where it really came from, but we all want to get to know you a little bit better. So give us a little bit of the background.
Originally, I worked in television for many years, on and off the camera, behind the scenes, and script writing, things of that sort. And I'm very blessed having an amazing career all over the country, having worked with Fox, NBC, major networks, interviewing amazing people, getting to talk to people of all walks of life and hear their stories. And I think a common denominator in the world of Disney, as well as journalism and broadcasting, is a great story is a great story.
Agreed.
And probably the ultimate storyteller of all time is the Disney world, the Disney universe, as well as I'm a big fan of Marvel, so I would say as well, DC Comics, again, anything that tells a great story. So it was an easy parallel for me. I've always loved Disney, again, the concept of great stories. So, I just kind of had fun going on basically trips to Disney, taking some pictures here and there. There was no idea at the time of a Disney Instagram or a Disney social media account. It was just, again, since I was a child, going every single year to Disney because my dad also was a big fan of Disney, being an engineer by trade. And so, of course, his thing was, seeing these engineering feats, and they were just, again, still to this day, magnificent, jaw-dropping.
Sure.
And for him, he always said if he could come back in another life as an Imagineer, he would. So for me, growing up, it was in my blood. And also, I'm a first-generation American. And I think Disney's also the true embodiment of the American dream in a lot of ways, and that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And so I also grew up with not just great stories, but also instilled in me that, magic is possible. Anything's possible with hard work. And I'm very, very blessed to have a family and a husband that loves Disney.
Right.
So again, the concept of storytelling, the concept of my family being so interwoven since my childhood into Disney, kind of created the perfect storm as to how I ended up here with Lake Buena Visitors. But how I started even the Disney Instagram account, social media world, was I ended up actually getting very ill 3 years ago, and having an emergency surgery that left me bedridden for almost 6 months. And, at the time I was thinking my career, was going to have to be put on hold in television. everything had to change. And there was a lot of hope and faith I needed that I couldn't find other than with Disney movies and things of that sort, that my husband was amazing enough to kind of keep me as mentally distracted as possible. And he said to me one day, he goes, on Instagram, you don't really use social media. Why don't you just follow other accounts that you can kind of live vicariously through? And at the time working in news, I didn't really use social media. What I did was already news enough. I kind of steered clear and I said, okay, I'll play. It was a blast. I followed accounts and all their fun experiences with characters, them going into the parks and riding rides and doing things that I basically lived vicariously through them.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so amazing. And my goal was, once I was healthy enough, was to get to go to Disneyland for the first time.
Oh, very cool.
And so I finally, after almost a year, I got to go to Disneyland. And Chris was like, well, let's take some pictures and, let's start a Disney account for you, because, this has been such a major role in you also healing, not just here, but up here, and source of hope. And, Chris said, you may not realize that your pictures may bring people joy and happiness when they need it.
Totally. And,
you're kind of giving it back in a way. I started posting about my character meetings, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my account called Minnie Marie Mouse went viral. And thousands of people from all over the world started following me. None of them knew I worked in television. None of them knew Maria from TV. They knew me as the girl who loved Disney, which made it so much more fun and pure and exciting, because they were just loving the same thing I did. It had nothing to do with anything else.
And I think again, following you and being part of that little world that we're in, where there's so many people here who are, they're at the parks every day and they're sharing those things. Your uniqueness is your personality. You have an infectious smile and laugh, and you genuinely, and I mean this with all due respect, you come across as the most adorable adult child ever. Again, every time I watch, I'm like, yeah, it's so fun. Your commitment to the interaction of everything you do, I think, is what really brought people to your following, and especially in a time like this, where people are looking for an outlet and for hope, for lack of maybe better term. You definitely bring that magic. When we can't go to the magic, you're definitely bringing that magic in. We're going to dive deep into the Lake Buena Visitors TV stuff in just a second. So what point did you decide, maybe a shop is the next logical step?
Of course, as I mentioned, I love characters, and there just wasn't very interesting, unique styles for women, anything that was fun to wear that represented some of your favorite characters. I looked far and wide. I shopped on Etsy. The fabrics were often terrible. They never thought about a woman's figure. Again, there wasn't a lot of creativity, and I kept spending money on things that were one and done. They couldn't be worn outside the parks. They couldn't be styled cool. Again, I was wasting money trying to find the right perfect thing to wear, to take pictures in that I could remember and frame in my house and be proud of, not where my husband would go, wow, you look like a big nerd, and not in a cool Disney way. And I have a fashion design degree.
Right.
So I thought, I'm just going to start making my own clothes. And I started making my own clothes for my Minnie Marie Mouse account. And I would literally do that Michael's iron on with the paper. So I would design with my husband, who has a graphic design degree. I'd paint or draw my idea, and he would then bring it to life with his graphic design abilities on the computer. We'd print it out, cut it, old school, get the iron and iron it on a shirt. So I would do that. And in the parks, people would stop me right and left. Where did you get that? Where'd you get that? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. This is like literally a cut. Like, I printed this. You don't want it. And people would constantly ask us, where did you get this? And then we started making shirts for my husband so that we could kind of mix and match. I guess the turning point when I thought, okay, we need to start a business was one day we were walking in the parks, and a man approaches my husband and says, where did you get that shirt? And he says, oh, I made it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. He goes, I will give you $50 for that shirt to take it off and buy a different shirt in the gift shop. And my husband's like, this is sweaty and gross. He's like, it's fine. I can wash it in the laundry. We're good. And I was like, but it's iron on. It's going to peel off. He's like, that's fine. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, Chris, take the $50. Chris, go take off your shirt. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I actually had this on our Lake Buena Visitors Instagram. A very nice lady saw a Marie the cat shirt I had designed and did the same thing and said, can I buy the shirt off of you? And I was like, do you mind if I videotape this? Because this is so crazy. I videotaped it. I was like, I even videotaped me going into the bathroom, like, well, here we go. And taking off my Marie the cat shirt, replacing it with another one and giving it to the lovely lady. And so I realized again, I was like, Chris, there's a need for this.
Sure.
Because people can't find styles that, like I said, aren't just a junk drawer shirt.
Right.
My goal was that we wouldn't sell or start a shop unless each shirt was so unique and was like art that you wanted to hang it up on a hanger. A lot of shirts we throw in drawers, but I wanted people to love their merchandise so much that they hung it up, and that was the true test. So the one neat thing about our customers is over 70% of them have at least 12 of our shirts, which is
really
mind-boggling. Yeah. So once, and that was also my other goal, was that I wanted people to feel like this wasn't just a apparel company, that this was also a community.
Right.
Again, I found solace when I wasn't doing well at one point in my life through the Disney community. And I thought, I don't want it to be just you buy a shirt and
be done.
That's it. I want it to be that you're now part of, I call it the Lake Buena Visitors Club.
Yeah.
It's actually even the handle to our new upcoming website, lbvclub.com, where you can go and see a special discount code that only people at lbvclub.com go and get.
Awesome.
So even before the website launches, you can grab that. But again, I want it to be a club, a place where people could become friends with new people that also have the shirts or that have a similar love for a, whether it be a character, a fandom. And what's amazing, and honestly, I think the most meaningful to me is seeing people make new friends. So I can see it through our Instagram account at Lake Buena Visitors. People that didn't know each other are now talking to each other, meeting up in the parks, new friendships, new groups. And I mean, that's such an honor to me to think that, like, I brought people together just due to the fact that we all love Disney. Yeah. And, for me, again, it's always an honor to see that I'm a part of somebody's memories. So I put a lot of stake and effort into the designs. It takes, people were asking the other day, how long does it take to do a design? Often 2 months or more, because we really sit there and overthink it. Because for me, if it's going to be in a family photo or it's going to be a part of something that is forever, because Disney photos are, memories you want to cherish. For me, it's so important that people feel like they had the best moment and the most pride wearing whatever they were. It's just, like I said, it's an honor to see people wearing our art. And that also, again, brought us into making, art prints and things of that sort. We're honored to be a part of people's home during the virus as well, which then, of course, led to Lake Buena Visitors Television as a way, again, to bring that community aspect together, that club.
You mentioned the community of social media, right? Everyone, for a long time, that social media aspect, everyone was very against it, and it's not real communication. But clearly, in this quarantine time, it's all we have. And so being able to create that community around that beloved thing like Disney and its characters, again, incredibly commendable. Now, I want to talk about, you have a lot of great shirts with amazing characters, and shirts that, in my personal opinion, Disney could easily put on their rack. The specific characters you have on the shirts, was that really meticulous? Or did you have a short list of like, nope, this is what's happening and these are why they are predominantly displayed?
I joke we're good business people, but we're terrible business people because we do what we like. I'm a huge fan of Sam Eagle, and so is my husband. I would have never guessed in a million years that Sam Eagle would be one of our most popular shirts that every week we send to other countries as well as the United States.
Really?
Our Sam Eagle shirt goes to Japan, Germany, and it says they salute to all nations, like the show from Muppet 3D Vision. But mostly America is the latter part. So I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, huh? But again, it just goes to show that, you know, at the end of the day, the love of the character, the love of the show is a base form of language that no matter what race, age, country you live in, it connects us all. And again, it warms my heart, and I always write a little special note when I see people from other countries getting that shirt. Because again, it's the love of Muppets. But I would have never guessed that would have been a popular shirt. And a really cool backstory to this, a friend of mine that works at Disney told me that originally the Regal Eagle restaurant, that was going to be a barbecue restaurant at Epcot, which is open now, that it wasn't going to be a Sam Eagle restaurant. That it was going to be just a plain old barbecue restaurant, Americana themed. And it ended up being that they saw how popular our shirt was. And it inspired them to bring Sam Eagle into Epcot. And I asked if I could screenshot and just say, I said, I'll block out your name. And I was like, and we framed it here in the office because, yes, obviously didn't get paid for any of that. But the fact that maybe something we did inspired to bring a character to life in another theme park is amazing. And I think, what an incredible gift. My dad, like I said, he was an engineer, and he's no longer with us. But I think he'd be really proud that something inspired a little bit of our family in Epcot, especially in the American Adventure Pavilion, being very proud to be first generation.
A lot of the shirts you have aren't common characters. They're the Sam Eagles. You have a Cars one that I think is really, really cool. The Tiki design is actually just behind you there. I love it because it's the Tiki room, and you look at it and go, yeah, that's Tiki room, but it's also not the Tiki room, which is it's a fine line, right?
And this one's really cool too. The Buzz Lightyear one is modeled after, because there's tons of Buzz Lightyear shirts that say, the same old thing, but this is actually modeled, this one behind me, is modeled after the famous NASA poster that was the inspiration and the campaign for the moon launch. Gotcha. And it was called To Infinity and Beyond, which is Buzz's famous line, and it looks similar to this. So it's actually modeled after, that famous poster that NASA did promoting the moon launch. And it was very cool. I tagged NASA when I talked about it on our Instagram, and they retweeted or reposted me, and a bunch of NASA engineers bought the shirt. So I always joke, I was like, I would have sent that for free to Cape Canaveral. Oh my God, mind blown. So I try to make something that you'll never see anywhere else. And also something that's timeless. That was the other thing I said to my husband is I love the fact that I can wear my mom's old Disney shirts and they look cool. Unfortunately, we've come into an era of fast fashion because it makes people more money, the shops, Disney, etc. And I get it, it's a business, but I said, that's not how I want to run my business. I want somebody to be able to wear our shirt 10 years from now and it still holds, it's still super cool, that it can be passed from generations to generations, and that the quality is amazing enough that it does hold the test of time. We've lost that, unfortunately, in the fashion industry because everything's about producing it cheaper and quicker. Everything we make is down the street with our friend, and we print everything ourselves. So it's literally, it's us. Everything is homemade here in Florida.
Do you have a favorite design? Is there one that outside, you mentioned Sam Eagle, but is there another one that you're like, this is?
I love Star Wars. This was one of my first designs ever, the Millennium Falcon Operations Manual. And it was very hard to do because you have to draw, I have to give Chris credit, he drew it. I terribly tried to do it. So I do love that one. But also, again, I do have a real love for Cinderella. I think she's often an overlooked princess because, it's an older movie, things of that sort. But if you look at her character, she's one of the few princesses who's been through so much and still managed to be kind and not necessarily about fighting back. I think it's great. Women should always be empowered to fight back. But there was something really just jaw-dropping about the concept of turning the other cheek and saying, I don't need to hate back. I don't need to hurt back. And I'm just going to stay hopeful, have dreams, be kind, and I'm going to keep pushing forward no matter what people tell me. And that's often overlooked as her storyline. So for me, I think there's something beautiful to be said about forgiving those who may cause pain in the world, unfortunately. Because often if you can do that and forgive, your heart is so much fuller to bring in other things into your life that will restore happiness and actually make others too happy. So we have a Cinderella design that I worked for 6 months on because I really wanted to do her justice. And it's the clock. Mm-hmm. And it's her silhouette with Prince Charming that actually was inspired by a picture my husband and I took. And he's holding her hand. And it says, so this is love in the side of the clock. And all of the different parts to the story are in the outside of the clock, from the carriage to the glass slipper to the birds, the mice. And so it's literally a whole story is told within the clock.
That's awesome.
And every time I see it, I get goosebumps. And
it kind of definitely goes back to what you said earlier, like that you at least you started with designs that are for you. You kind of think the characters, and you think of the characters and characteristics of those characters that you love so much, and so to put that into a shirt, it's clearly a labor of love. People are always looking for, again, authentically new things, right? Anyone can go to Disney store, Disney online, get a Mickey shirt. Yours are incredibly unique. What advice would you give to someone who maybe is interested in starting their own line?
An apparel line?
Sure.
I would say, it's a lot of work. Be ready, don't sleep, coffee, because realistically, you have to take it seriously that these are people's memories that they're investing in you, and you need to be investing in them. And I see a lot of these companies, again, it's just quick turnaround, quick fashion. And I think for longevity and to be able to sustain a business, you need to have that core group of customers that are excited. And the interesting thing is people ask, why don't we do brand reps? For those that don't know what a brand rep is, a brand rep is somebody that is sent a free shirt. In exchange, they post something on their Instagram, and it's supposed to market the shirt. I didn't want to do that because I wanted people to see real customers really wearing the shirt. Right. For me, it was important to see not, just some, cute girl or guy wearing the shirts. You'll see my husband and I only on our page, with pictures, but I'll always post our customers on our Insta stories. And they're from all walks of life, all over the world. And I love that. I didn't want it to be, you see the same 5 people modeling a shirt. And I think that is something we do differently than anybody else. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend that to anybody wanting to start a line, is to not think of it like, let me just cookie cutter do what a company is XYZ supposed to do. Do what makes you happy and what you think will make the customer happy, and it'll work out. But again, it's a lot of hard work. Yeah. There's, again, the designs, they take time. For those that don't put the time and effort into it, it's going to show, it's going to hurt you down the line. And I recommend definitely also making sure customer service is very important to you. For me, I answer all the questions myself. I even help size people. Like, I literally, if somebody I recognize from Instagram buys something, they don't even know me, I'll message them and go, you're not a size medium, you're a small. Or I think I even tried to size you. I was like, no. I can see it and I get involved. Whereas most people wouldn't do that. Yeah. Yes. Have I not slept since 2019? Yeah. But you know what? I'm so happy to see that people love their shirt. Like, one big thing that has kind of gone viral about our store is that we've actually helped people change what sizes they usually buy in general. of shirts and dresses after, because I have a fashion design degree, I know what's going to look nice on a body.
Yeah.
So again, these little things of taking the time to care about your customers really matters. And, I say this a lot, I call them club members because I don't even view them as customers. They're part of the club and a part of the family.
Going into the community aspect of it all, the Lake Buena Visitors, is it Club Lake Buena Visitors? Or Lake Buena Visitors?
I call it the LBV Club, like for fun. It's Lake Buena Visitors, but I call it my LBV Club.
Not gonna lie, LBV Club sounds way cooler than like the whole name.
A lot of words, so I shortened it.
And so, and because of that community, because of your personality, as we discussed before, because of your love of the characters, you designed LBV TV. And so every Monday night for the past couple of weeks, you put on a live stream through YouTube of in one of the best Disney shows I think that's been out a long time. Tell me about that. Like, what was the decision to really expand or step outside of the shop into more of a overall brand than just apparel?
The coronavirus happened and we were all stuck indoors.
Right.
And amazingly enough, people were still buying shirts, and I'm thinking, they have nowhere to go in these. And I was like, you know what? I want a place where they can come and congregate virtually, wearing their shirts and loving Disney life. But again, I wanted to also bring in some hope and magic. I think that was so important, for me when I was sick, to have Disney as a escape, as also a form of solace and, like I said, hope. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what? With my background in TV, I used to produce the morning show for NBC. I can do this. This is how hard can this be? So I came up with the concept of doing a show every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we would bring a Disney character to life, virtually, and have them have an interview and let the chat also interact with the character, ask them questions, and more. And then afterwards, with the theme of that character, we would have a roundtable discussion with Disney Instagrammers, YouTubers, or experts about that theme. So for example, we had Cinderella, and we did a whole So This Is Love theme. And we did best date nights with fellow Instagrammers and YouTubers, ideas for romantic nights at hotels and things of that sort. Kind of like a love themed episode. Yeah. Then we did the Tiki room with the Muppets, some of the Muppeteers, and they were amazing, by the way. Oh my God,
good friend, the Bird Call Radio. They'll be a guest here eventually.
Oh, they're so awesome. And they gave us behind the scenes afterwards, after they were done doing their puppeteering. Their human selves came and told us all about the world of puppeteering and the Muppets and the Sesame Street characters. So I've had these amazing people come on and talk about also Crush, which is so cool.
No way.
I know. I love Crush. He's a big fan of yours too, by the way.
Totally true.
Yes, but Crush themed episode was about World's Ocean Day, and we had animal conservationists and caretakers and trainers from Animal Kingdom come on after the character to talk about that world and Animal Kingdom and more. So every episode is a blast. Next week we have someone, you may know, Gusteau, who's going to do cooking and talk about what's going on in Paris. And afterwards we're going to have a cooking club, basically doing Disney foods.
Awesome.
So every week is a different theme, something fun, and also a way to enjoy the magic when we can't be there in person.
Sure. So now, is there a plan? Are you going to continue these once everything is open?
I have almost 2 months out planned.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And we even, are creating shirts sometimes around a character I want to bring on. So I'm like, we totally need a pirate. So I was like, Chris, we're on a pirate shirt. Something Pirates of the Caribbean. So even ironically, the TV is also inspiring designs. That's very Disney within itself. The synergy of every little thing kept making all the gears come together and yes.
Work. I love the slogan term that you say on LBV TV.
We bring styles and smiles from Mickey's backyard.
That is fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's what I want. I didn't want it to be just you feel styling. I wanted the shirt to make you smile.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't do my job right.
What's next? What's the hope? Where are we headed down the line?
Oh, well, we are, I mean, we have dresses and we have a lot of other apparel. You know, my husband teases that, you know, we need a storefront soon. But realistically, you know, we'll be doing more of the YouTube channel, more Instagram, but we're having a website launch finally. We really wanted before the actual launch of it, everything to be perfect, everything ready. Because again, we wanted it to be a platform that people could connect. And no one in any sort of fandom, that includes Disney, Harry Potter, Marvel, has created a lifestyle brand where the customer could interact and be a part of a platform. So it's almost its own way of interacting and getting to know other people that buy the shirts as well. It's not just a site to just go see, oh, you know, cool items or a blog or something.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll have a blog section as well, but everything is going to be very interactive, which is realistically, you know, how this all started was interacting.
Yeah. It seems like it's the overall goal is to create a larger, again, and that's sort of why I do these, is getting word out about things that people don't know exist and helping create a larger community of, in this particular case, that Disney fandom of people who just eat, sleep, breathe it, and want to be part and are surrounded by others with that passion. So I love everything you're doing. I'm super excited to see what happens next for you guys.
Well, I mean, our other big initiative we're doing right now is, you know, again, it's about community. So we had a shirt that was the Mickey holding the world, called It's a Small World After All shirt, that all proceeds, including our costs, go towards feeding America because, you know, with the coronavirus, unfortunately, that became a major issue to the point I still to this day, unfortunately, see very long lines at food banks here in Orlando in Mickey's backyard. I guess that was so shocking to me because we think of magic, you know, we think of that everything could be fixed, you know, with the magic of Disney, but that couldn't. And although everybody across the country is suffering, so we have to do something. And this was a wonderful way to, again, bring smiles and smiles, but now also bring something that could really make a difference in communities across the country. And, you know, we're doing another shirt now, similar again, It's a Small World After All, for the ACLU. We love the fact that we're now also helping our customers feel like they're a part of making a difference and not just, you know, again, the smiles and smiles, but, you know, being actively involved in their community too.
I don't even know what to say. Like I'm a little caught up and speechless of it. It's just, it's fantastic. And again, your sparkling personality, I think, is the reason it's doing so well. Just because it's hard to not just be in love with you. I think that's I'm going to use quotations.
I love you too.
But no, but in all honesty, it is not that you need my accolade, but I appreciate everything you're doing, and I look forward to what is next. Since the show is called The Side of Hustle, we primarily discuss side projects and side businesses. Clearly, this is not your side thing. This is your main everything. What does hustle mean to you?
Well, originally this was a side fun project that I didn't know what would happen. I mean, I said, no matter what, I'm glad I did something that, again, other people could enjoy, no matter how many, whether it was 5 or 500, or now I think I think it's something crazy, like almost 10,000 people have our shirts. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I mean, for me, that's wild. So I guess the moral of the story is sometimes what is a side hustle can turn into something life-changing for others, making a difference and growing into something that you would have never imagined. So I always tell people, don't give up if it's, you know, there's hiccups. As long as you love what you're doing, it'll go well. I really do think when you have a passion for it, it finds a way to snowball and at least be meaningful to you. So when I think of hustling, you know, I think of the concept of working hard. I think we started the interview where I said I haven't slept since 2019, and that's true. I would say when it comes to hustling, it's just everything is a lot of work. I know sometimes the word hustle has the connotation of, being, shifty or like whatever. I think hustle just means working hard to the bone. And, like I said, I'm first generation American, and my parents came over here to give me a better life than they had. And for me, I always am so grateful that they brought me here where I could do this.
Yeah.
Where they came from, this would never have been an option for me. And so every day I try to honor their memory and work hard because, it's the least I can do for them and the country that allowed me to get to do this.
That's great. Very, very cool. Last thing, where do we find you? What's all the links? Where do we?
Oh, there's lots of links. Well, LBV Club, yes. Well, LBVclub.com is our secret link we haven't even told anybody about, our website that's about to start. So you guys are hearing it first, LBVclub.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter as well as the launch of the site before it happens and get a extra big discount code, by the way.
Okay.
So, only you guys here get to hear it. But also we have Lake Buena Visitors at our Instagram account. And Lake Buena Visitors came from the concept of Lake Buena Vista or Buena Vista Way in Burbank, where Walt Disney created all his famous characters. So I know it's a mouthful, Lake Buena Visitors, but we have it on Instagram, Pinterest. Actually, Pinterest, this is wild. We have almost 1 million unique viewers per month at Pinterest. I had no idea.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I didn't realize Pinterest was still a thing, to be very honest.
I know. I was like, what's going on? It's really cool. I was like, whoa, hi. And then we do have 700,000 unique visitors to our Instagram account. But again, Pinterest, astonishing, amazing. But big shout out, we have an amazing friend of mine that works with us who is named Chelsea Taylor that does her own Instagram account for fashion called Fan and Fashionista. She runs our Pinterest, so that's all her. That success goes to that. I have a good eye for talent, but all that is her. And let's see, Minnie Maria Mouse is at Instagram. Okay. And then, of course, we have our YouTube channel. It's LBV TV that you can search in the engine, or you can type in LBV TV 1 into YouTube as well, and that's our handle there too. Okay. So yeah, we're just trying to find as many different ways that you can plug into your own LBV.
Do not fret. I'll put all of those links in the description here below, so they're easily found for all of the viewers. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really greatly appreciate it. And I'll be definitely checking out LBV TV every Monday night at 8:30. I'm excited to see Gusteau, because apparently anyone can cook. And if that's true, then I'm a genius. Maria, thank you so much for your time. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of The Side of Hustle. As always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to know when new episodes are available. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Keep watching videos, and we will see you next time.